My name is Vivian Aronowitz, and I am president of the board of Malahai, the Garden at Waimea Middle School. I have been for the last 2 years. I've been on the board for 4 years. I know you value and appreciate the contribution of the garden to the school and the community. The garden has represented over $600,000 worth of value to the school and many, many hours of volunteers. And this is a community effort, and you can see how much this community values participation in this process. And very strong feelings have emerged about the principle. I just want to share one thing. I don't want to repeat things that other people have said already. I come from South Africa, okay? And in South Africa, people did terrible things to each other. And at the end of the particular process, when the politics changed, there was something called the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. I imagine you've heard about that. Yes? Okay. Or maybe some of the kids will learn about this in their civics classes. At that time, people stood up and apologized for wrongdoing. There was nothing hidden at that time. And that's what we're asking to inform this process, that you have the courage to stand up and say what is going on. And I understand you talked about the commitment that you made with John Colson. What we fail to understand is this action that happened recently is so out of character of this man that we feel like Reverend Billy said, if someone has a gun to his head, they will do anything. And we know that people under intense pressure do things. And what the community is asking, begging, the children, the parents, for you to reconsider, invite this man back at least to the end of the school year. And that can produce a lot of healing, because the damage that is happening right now is very profound. And all of us in the community that are working very hard to support this school and these children do not want to see something undone in the way, the harm that has been perpetrated. So we're asking you to please go back, talk to John, and reconsider this action.
Margaret Willie, I'm an active member of the community, and I do not have kids in the school, but I have met with police officers and other persons around the community who have expressed to me what a great job John Colson has done. There have been far fewer interventions, there have been far fewer problems, and the kids have been basically much happier. And that's the general sentiment around. So it makes it hard for us to believe that he would resign. It's the unbelievability of this. And if he did, we can't understand why you would not be telling us how you begged him to stay, how you about how he offered his resignation. You guys accepted it. It's not believable. So we're sitting here unable to believe what you're saying. The wrong that I want to talk about is the wrong of your agreeing to keep this confidential. We're not plantation politics where you treat people like dirt and think you know better how to take care of them. There's transparency and accountability. And in my view, you're using the employee-employer relationship, and this is private, as a smokescreen for allowing the community and the kids that are involved to understand what's going on. It's a matter of respect, and you're not respecting the community. I think it's unacceptable. My question is, who is above you? Who does also an educator. I have degrees in education. I think we need to go beyond this. We don't want you to leave here thinking we checked that box, we came to the community, and it's done. It's not done. You are here. You are in this until this is resolved. We can't, as a community, sit here and say we accept something that's not believable. So I want to know what steps we as a community can take if we do not accept your decision. My second question is, can you ask John Colson, can you all say to us, we are willing to make this public, we are willing to make this transparent. Are you willing to write a letter and say to him, we are willing to do this? Will you go along with that?
Let me answer your first question. I mean, we're a private nonprofit. The board is the board. You can decharter. You can go through the steps of dechartering and create your own charter school outside of Ho'okākou. But I don't know. There's nobody that fires us. There's nobody that hires us. Nobody that fires us. The board asks people to participate as board members, and people have terms and they leave. That's the normal situation for most private nonprofits.
But how could you not have begged him to stay until the end of the year? How could you not do that? When you say it doesn't have to do with something ethical, it just so you understand, there's no one in their heart that can believe you unless you give us an explanation. Okay?
Martin, one of the things I was trying to say earlier, and then I know you understand it as an attorney, when we start our relationship, our professional relationships with a contract, how we start that relationship and how we end that relationship is determined in that contract. Like it or not, that's the process that we're honoring this evening with respect to Mr. Colson. There are things we cannot discuss because when we started our relationship with him, we decided that if there's for any reason we're going to part our ways, this is how it's going to happen. And that's playing out right now. On the other hand, you asked a very good question, and that is, would we be willing, together with Mr. Colson, to say we do want to make this transparent as we're willing to do with the community. And obviously that's something that we can do together. He and our board would have to agree that we'd like to come back and sit in this room. If anybody else wants to be here together, waive that aspect of our agreement so that we can talk in the open about the situation. Absolutely. That would be the best thing that could happen. But we both would have to agree to that. And we're willing to ask him to consider it.
Do you board members willing to agree to do that?
Yes, and we're willing to ask him to consider it.
And you all are willing to do it if he's do it. And come together. Basically, this is a dialogue where we want it to be three-party. We want the community. Because otherwise, you're like leaving everyone here. You're like, it's just abandoning the school, like you don't care. It's the feeling that one can't help but feel.
We will take it back to the board and talk to John.
Why don't you do it right here? Why don't you talk right here?
We don't have a majority, but we'll take it back to the board.
Okay, but how do you...
We said we would take it back to the board to discuss it with John.
And will you recommend it as the head, as the leader?
I would recommend that we talk to John.
That you make this open so everyone can participate.
I would recommend that we talk to John. I don't mean to
Okay, I just don't understand. Talk to him about opening it up.
Yes, talking about opening up and what would be, why would he, and how would we do it, I guess, yes.
And are you willing to to ask him, will you all reconsider this for the end of the year? Are you willing to bring that up with him?
I think that's part of the agreement, because it would...
I understand that. I understand it's part of the agreement, but agreements can be changed. As quickly as you write it, you can